In today's world of finger-pointing and blame games, one fact remains irrefutable: if you don't vote, you don't get to complain. There's a pervasive culture of apathy in our political landscape, one that infects the very core of our democratic system. And let me be perfectly clear, this is not a trivial issue, nor is it something to be shrugged off as a passing inconvenience. The erosion of voter participation is a deadly virus, slowly but surely undermining the very foundations of our society. When people rant about the failures of the council, the crushing weight of taxes, or the incompetence of elected officials, they often miss a simple but vital point. The moment they choose not to vote, they forfeit their right to demand change. It's astonishing how quickly people abandon their responsibility to engage in the democratic process while still feeling entitled to complain about the results. It's the equivalent of sitting on the sidelines of a football game, cursing the team for losing without ever stepping onto the field. And, frankly, it's infuriating. The truth is that political apathy is one of the most insidious threats facing democracy today. It's easy to point fingers at politicians, blaming them for everything from inefficiency to corruption, but the electorate must take a hard look in the mirror. If you don't vote, then why should anyone take your grievances seriously? Political engagement is not some optional luxury, nor is it an abstract concept reserved for the elite. It is a fundamental right, a responsibility, and the only tool we have to make our voices heard. I am a councillor, and I have been on the receiving end of plenty of complaints. Every day, I hear about the dire state of our local roads, about inflated council taxes, about issues that have not been addressed for years. Of course, there are many things that need fixing, but when I ask people whether they voted in the last election, I am met with silence or weak excuses. The most common justification: it won't make a difference, or worse, what's the point? And yet, these same people are the first to vent their frustration when things don't go their way. Here's the hard truth: voting is not optional. It is a civic duty, a moral obligation to participate in the system that affects every aspect of our lives. When you abstain from voting, you are actively choosing to relinquish your voice. You are consenting to the status quo. You are, in effect, complicit in the very issues you claim to care about. If you want better roads, lower taxes, or a more responsive government, then put your money where your mouth is and cast your ballot. The system won't change if you don't engage with it. Period. Now, it's true that our political system is far from perfect. There are countless issues with how we govern ourselves, from rampant corruption to the concentration of power in the hands of a few elites. But abandoning the democratic process in protest is not the answer. It's a betrayal of the very system that allows us to seek change. In fact, it's precisely the type of apathy that perpetuates the broken system we all loathe. When you choose not to vote, you are tacitly endorsing the status quo. You are saying, "I'm fine with things as they are, even if I don't like them." So, what do we do about it? The answer is simple: engage. If you want change, you need to participate in the process. Whether you're a disillusioned voter, a frustrated taxpayer, or someone who believes the system is rigged, the solution is the same: vote. The right to vote is one of the most precious privileges we have as citizens. And with it comes the responsibility to ensure that the people who are elected to power are held accountable for their actions. It is not enough to sit idly by and complain. You must show up, make your voice heard, and demand better. Otherwise, you are just part of the problem. And for those who think that their vote doesn't matter, I have one message: think again. Every election, every vote, has consequences. The choices we make today will shape the future of our country, our communities, and our children. If we don't vote, we hand over control to those who are more than happy to make decisions on our behalf. And let's be clear, those in power are not concerned with your well-being if you're not showing up to hold them accountable. We are at a critical juncture in our political system. The apathy that grips so many of us is poisoning our democracy, enabling the very corruption and incompetence we despise. But the power to change things is in our hands. The power to demand better, to create a system that works for everyone, lies in our ability to vote and to hold our leaders accountable. If you're not voting, then you are part of the problem. If you want change, then get involved. Make your voice heard. Your future, and the future of your country, depends on it.